For our first guest. Most of you have never heard his story. Most of you probably don't even know that he did the cool things that he's done. But tonight you're going to meet him. His name is Bob Long. Give a huge round of applause to Mr. Bob Dongman. Thank you, Bob. Awesome to have you here tonight. How you doing? You nervous? You don't need to be nervous. All right, let's start with little Bob. Tell me a little bit about Bob. Give us just a 20-second overview. If someone says, hey, who are you and what do you do? What do you tell them? Yeah.
My wife and I have an apartment business. We have 13 buildings, 84 apartments. We also own the gym on the roundabout. That's where I spend a lot of my time trying to help the kids in the neighborhood.
Awesome. So tell me about Bob as a little kid. When you were like a little kid, who was Bob and what were you like when you were young? And where did you grow up?
I grew up in South Utica. My mom was Italian, 5'3", very religious, very strict. My dad was Irishman, 6'3", tough, hard working, always worked 2 jobs. There came 6 boys, 2 girls. I was in 8th grade. My dad passed away from cancer, and senior year, my mom followed him. So life got tough.
So you were in 8th grade, and you're how old? By the time both parents had passed away, by what age?
By the time I was a senior in high school.
So was that? Tell me about that. Was that a tough time? Yeah. How so?
Well, watching my dad go from 6'3", 260 pounds to 90 pounds from the course of 10 years old till 13 years old is very, very difficult to watch. I mean, very tough time.
Were you? Do you have siblings? There's 8 of you. Were you like? Where are you in that order? Number 7. So you were one of the younger kids. So was that family dynamic difficult?
Well, most of them have moved on. I was the oldest gal at home. So I stuck around to take care of my mom and my younger brother.
Awesome. So then you get into high school. What were your high school years like?
High school was good. I was a football star. That was probably the only reason I stayed in school. And I got offers to play college football, but with my mom sitting at home, that until she passed away. And then I did end up going playing college ball.
Where'd you play?
I played at Brockford State School because earlier I had better offers. I had letters from Notre Dame, USC, and UCLA, believe it or not. That was an opportunity I missed out on.
So you end up playing football in college,
Right.
and you go off to college. What were your college experiences like?
What's that?
What was your college experience like?
I quit school my first. I hurt my ankle. I was going through a tough time. Bad decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and so your dream at that point had been to play football?
Oh, that was it.
Okay, so you have this lifelong dream from the little kid to play. How old were you when you decided you wanted to play
Football
football?
was life.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to play
Well, 5 older brothers and sisters in South Dakota.
football? Okay.
Backyard was football. All the neighborhood kids would go on. Like the game Sandlot.
So you find yourself like 19 years old and your childhood dream is gone. What do you do?
I always lifted weights for football, and I enjoyed that. Took up bodybuilding, and that brought me to California.
What was it about bodybuilding that appealed to you?
Yeah, but when I was working out for football, I liked what it did for my body. I got bigger, stronger, faster, and it was second place in football.
So you end up, you were here. What was your first job?
My first job was I delivered 200 papers when I was 10 years old.
200 papers?
Yeah, you have to be 12 to be a paper boy. My brother took the paper out. His name was like, wow.
There's one thing I learned about entrepreneurs: they learn the ways around the systems. So you're 10 years old. You're delivering 200 papers. You end up not going to college, and you found yourself here. What were your prospects at the time for a future here? No, when you were like out of college.
I think every kid goes through this, and I'm glad a few of you guys attended. I think between 18 and 22, you really think you know everything. The fact is, you don't. And it's really a tough time, because that's when you take charge of your life. When your parents are pressuring you to start getting on with things. And really, the hard part about life is figuring it out, knowing what you want to be. Not many of us do at that age. I was one of the kids.
So what was the story behind you deciding to go to California?
I love bodybuilding. I started following magazines. I took a liking to Arnold Schwarzenegger, read all his books, and I wanted to be the next one.
Okay. And so did you just pack everything up one day and hit the road?
It was not a pretty sight. I had an old Datsun pickup that most people didn't think would make it around the block. Me and my best friend, we saved, I saved $1,300. He had about 20 cents with him. We packed the pickup truck and we headed west.
And did anything happen on that trip that you were
Oh, yeah. We were going up the Rocky Mountains, and we didn't realize that our carburetor needed to be adjusted because the air was so thin. We didn't make it up the hill.
So was this your first time going west?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so you pull into LA. Into what part of LA?
We pulled into LA not knowing anybody. Well, we broke down in Arizona too. What happened? Actually, we got a flat tire and never spare. I think we got a little more balls than brains when I was 20. We got into California. I had $1,300 with me, and our rent was $650. We needed first and last security deposit. So my $1,300 didn't last very long. And worse than that, our truck made it into the driveway where we lived. It never ran again.
So take me, what year was this, by the way?
1983.
Okay, 1983. So was the goal literally like, I'm going to move to California and be a bodybuilder like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
That was my goal, yeah.
Okay. And so you got there, you don't have a vehicle, you don't have any money, and you don't know anybody. What's the first thing that you do in that situation?
Get a job.
Okay, what was your first job there?
My first job, got a job as a bouncer at a place called Merlin McFly's. Got another job being a bartender, and got a job, day job, stocking trucks.
So you're working 3 jobs.
I'll get through that.
Was that, why would you work 3 jobs?
Well, jobs were plentiful. I got 3 jobs the first day I went out. Donnie got a job the first day he went out. It was 1983. It was Southern California. People weren't all there yet, and guys from New York have a big advantage because Californians are lazy.
I can actually verify that statement. So you get 3 jobs, and then when do you start? Did you just immediately find a gym and start working out?
No, first I had to make a paycheck.
Okay.
My first paycheck when I did get paid was the gym got the money.
Okay. And so I think this is important. You said Californians are lazy. I don't think they're actually really lazy, but I think that there's a work ethic that you've learned here that's
Only Bob. Now do you get it?
good thing we're not televising this. So how did, though, your work ethic and growing up here affect you working there?
I was broke, and you get a little desperate when you're broke. I didn't have a choice. I was working with that attitude. Losing my dad was very hard on me. On the upside, it made everything else easy. There's nothing harder than that. And I was able to, what they say, eat the dirt, drink the rainwater. I was just happy.
Okay, so you're there, you're working a bunch, you go there to fulfill your lifelong dream. Did it feel a long ways off that point? the dream of being a bodybuilder, being the next Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I was a tall, skinny kid, without a lot of money, and the first thing I did was buy a membership before we had food. Bodybuilding. It was a struggle. It was very, very difficult.
So tell me about the first time you worked out in a gym where you started recognizing some of the clientele there.
The first day I got there, I went to World Gym, and believe it or not, there was Arnold Schwarzenegger and about 10 other people that you might not recognize working out at World Gym. And Joe Gold, the owner of the gym, walked me around the gym and introduced me to all the guys, and it was a great day. But I didn't end up joining that gym.
How come?
So I went down the street to Gold's Gym, and World Gym was like a church. Everybody was talking, there was no music, it was very quiet. And I was working out and I was touching the dumbbells together, just touching the dumbbells together. And Joe Gold came over and he says, "Hey, we don't do that in here." I looked at him like, I wasn't throwing anything around. I said, "Do what?" He said, "We don't touch the dumbbells together." I said, "Okay." The next day I tried Gold's Gym and I fell in love with Gold's Gym.
What was it? Because it was damaging, touching together? Was that
No, Gold's Gym was a madhouse. There were as many known bodybuilders, if not more. It was 3 times the size. It was just banging and weights, and I couldn't wait to do it.
Awesome. So now you're bodybuilding, you're getting in shape, better in shape, you're learning from the pros,
Right.
you're working full time. Is that all you're doing at this time? Pretty much just working and
That was
working out?
That was enough for me.
Yeah. And then at what point did you realize that you wanted to do something more than just the jobs that you were doing
Well, I
working out?
got a real job as a security guard, and the owner happened to be from Long Island. And him and I really hit it off. He took a liking to me. He was like a big brother to me. It wasn't 6 months later I was running this company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so at what point did you realize that there was this hole in the market that you ended up capitalizing on?
Well, my boss, when I was working security, sent me to go get a suit. And he sent me to Beverly Hills with his credit card. I called him up and I says, "Hey Joe, the suit's gonna cost $400. He said, "Buy it." I called him back about 10 minutes later. I said, "Hey Joe, you want $400 to tailor the suit to fit me?" He said, "I can't say it." He said, "That's on you." He said, "I'll pay for the suit, you're paying for the tailor." So I had my suit made, and when you're a bodybuilder, your legs are big, your waist is small, and the back pockets kind of touched each other. I looked ridiculous in this brand new suit that I just paid $800. That was the first sign that somebody needed to do something better about this.
Okay. And so did you at that time, because take us back to you were, how old is it?
How old am I?
Yeah,
25.
25 years old. So 25 years old, work experience, very little like business experience. Did you see it as a quote unquote like a hole in the market?
No, I seen that I couldn't wear clothes. I don't know if any of you's ever shopped at a big at all, but it's not exactly a fashion statement.
My husband bodybuilt, and he had the same problem. And the only saving grace is the time we lived in Philly, and so the football team got their suits tailored where we bought a suit for him for a funeral. That's the only way they fit the suit to him.
So this is an important point here. Many entrepreneurs who create revolutionary products do so, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't have this master plan of conquering the world. They don't have this master plan of, there's a hole in the market that I'm going to fill. They just see a need because they see that somebody needs it. Sometimes it's just them that needs it, but he sees this need. And so what did you decide to go home and start like sewing your own shirts and stuff?
No, I think I went to a bodybuilding competition, and I kind of saw that there were a lot more people out there than me that couldn't find clothes to fit. So I sold everything I owned, my Corvette, my savings, and bought 2 sewing machines, and I met this old Spanish lady that didn't speak English from Mexico. She worked for me. She sewed in the garage while I cut clothes out with scissors.
Had you ever cut clothes before or done any tailoring at all?
No, but I was I was pretty in style. I kind of knew what I wanted.
Okay. Okay, so you're learning a new skill that you've never learned before, like sewing the garments kind of now.
First being pattern.
How did you learn all this stuff? By the way, this is pre-internet for those of you who are young. That means you didn't just
No,
Google
yeah,
this stuff.
absolutely,
You actually had to
yeah,
find
yeah.
someone who could show you. And by the way, back in those times, they had something called a fabric store. And you get a pattern, and you sew. I'm just talking to people who are younger than me. So, so how did you learn these skills?
About a few months before all this happened, I was at a bodybuilding show with a friend of mine, a big Indian kid, and there's a guy selling clothes at the show. He said to me, he says, you know, my dad always wanted to do that. I said, do what? He said, make clothes for bodybuilders. And we bought a couple things at the show, and we washed them, and they wouldn't fit my wife after they came out of the washing machine. Maybe somebody can do something better than this. The next thing I knew, I was in Montreal, where he lived, working with his Indian dad. And I was the model, and we designed a line of clothing. And he had his own idea. His company was called Aspa Matur. And it really didn't make much sense to me. It's kind of a logo with an ugly bald guy on it. And I stayed there for a few months. And my friend just quit on me. He didn't want to be in Canada. And he barely even told me he was on a flight back to California.
So you have a business partner now. You've moved outside of the country to start a company with him.
I didn't move, I went.
Okay. and then he bails on you in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
So what do you?
I was screwed. So I called my girlfriend Alice at the time, and she said, Bobby, this is your idea. She said, make a copy of all the pattern and get on a plane. That's what we did.
Okay. Now you got patterns. You still don't know what to do with them.
I got patterns.
And now you got a woman who sews some stuff for you.
Well, I met her when I was doing security. She was doing some tailoring to one of the rich people I was guarding. And I don't know how it got brought up, but she was a retired seamstress with many sewing machines that were in a garage. One by one, I contacted her, and she became my employee and kind of my mentor. And she's the one that got me started. Her name was Consuelo Garcia.
So again, another really cool point. No entrepreneur that I've ever met has started something successful without a mentor. And sometimes those mentors come from like super unlikely places. Who would think that a retired seamstress from Mexico would be working with a bodybuilder to create a new line of clothing that no one had ever made before? And at the time, it sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong, anybody who was buying this kind of clothing were literally going to shows and purchasing this from just random people.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Actually, that's how we sold it. We went to bodybuilding shows and we sold them one at a time.
Okay, so you made your first product. Tell me about the very first product you ever made that was done. You were like, this is mine, I made this.
Well, my Indian friend had a lot of money, and his father had sponsored the biggest bodybuilding show, which is the Olympia. And it happened to be in Long Beach, California. And our company was already out of business, and we had already paid to be at the show. So I came back to California and I went to the show without.
And what was the first garment you sold?
Well, we were, it was nickel and dime. I started in a one-car garage. I was cutting the clothes out with the scissors one at a time. And it was basically selling samples.
So what was the response like when you got there and sold those first pieces of clothing? Was it right away people were like, this is amazing? Or was it more like, eh?
Yeah, it was very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
And why was that?
We felt the need that, one, we had a real special logo that was very well taken. In fact, it became the third greatest logo in bodybuilding. It was Gold's Gym, World Gym. We probably were second or third to Powerhouse, or third or fourth to Powerhouse.
And why was the logo such a big deal in the bodybuilding world?
Yeah, I think it just had the right look. You know, it was it says bodybuilding.
So you started selling these clothes. When did you realize this is a real company?
Well, my brother let me borrow 10 grand to run that.
Okay, so for those who don't know, tell them what Muscle and Fitness, why that's important to run out in Muscle and Fitness.
That's huge.
Got sales, but more importantly,
Without sales, you got nothing.
but that's the big publication for like bodybuilding world at the time,
Yeah,
right?
Joe Weider was, you know, he pretty much gaffled all the bodybuilding companies together. He was one of them for it.
He was the mom years for it.
He was the godfather.
Yeah. Okay, so you start selling clothes. When did you realize the company started like becoming like a real company and not just like, hey, did sales come instantly or did you have to work on it?
When we got more sales than we could fulfill, and you know, I ended up buying more equipment. I brought my best friend in as a partner. He was my sales staff because I was overwhelmed. I was the pattern maker, the cutter, the designer, the model, the salesperson. It was a much.
So another really important point, whenever you start a company, I don't care if it's a scalable company, like I'm gonna build something on the internet and sell it, or I'm gonna build a hot dog stand. There comes a point at which you do everything for a temporary period of time. And anyone, I see a lot of heads going, There comes a time when you have more ambition than you do time or money. And you do all these things that you swore you would never do because I'm gonna be an entrepreneur and I'm gonna go on Shark Tank and I'm gonna sell something and I'll never have to work again. Baloney, it's garbage. It doesn't happen. Shark Tank, by the way, is a reality show. It's not reality. I can introduce you to many people who got shafted because of Shark Tank. So it's one of my pet peeves. But
I learned how to sew. Sew clothes.
you said close. So tell me when you how did you expand from that point on?
The sales were coming in, the profit margins were good, and I was able to rent a piece of a warehouse about the size of this room. And the building was a little bigger than this.
So how did you learn about, say, profit margins and those kind of things? Was that something that just instinctively happened, or were you learning those skills as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a cost, there's a wholesale price, and then there's a retail price. And all retailers want to double their money plus $1. And
Okay. So when did you get the first real celebrity person that you'd say was wearing your stuff and you were like, this is amazing, I can't believe this is happening?
maybe
Well, there's two kinds of famous. Famous as the industry or famous general public. Lou Ferrigno was huge to the general public. Everybody knew who.
he wasn't
Her-
first.
He wasn't the first, but he's the one that everybody would know.
I was at Gold's Gym.
Yeah, and all the
A lot of my
Tom
friends
Platz, all those big
very famous
bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Not just a couple, I mean, 50. And most of them wore my stuff. And a lot of them got filmed in magazines, and when magazines got published. As far as the first one, I'd have to say it'd be Rick Valente. He's the one that's on Body Shaping, and he was on the cover of Van Halen magazine, or I'm sorry, Van Halen album. I think Rick was the most famous first person we used.
By the way, for those who don't know who Lou Ferrigno was, the 70s TV series with the Incredible Hulk, that's Lou Ferrigno. At the time, he was huge. Let me put another context. He was actually the next door neighbor on King of Queens, too, if you don't remember from that either. So now you're hanging out with people like Lou Ferrigno, and these bodybuilders are, and then now athletes start finding out about your stuff too, like professional athletes, not just bodybuilders, right?
Yep.
Well, the beauty of it was I can, Joe Weider's ads in a magazine ran $25,000 a page, which was a lot of money at the time. Even today, it's a lot of money. And a lot of the athletes, instead of getting paid because they didn't want to pay anybody, they would give them a free page in the magazine. So I hooked up with a lot of professional bodybuilders and
Train it.
bought their page and used their ad for my clothing company. And they were more happy with the money than trying to sell a product that they didn't have.
Wait, time out. So the bodybuilders were taking out their own ads, and then you would pay them to wear your stuff?
No, they
No,
were given their
the
space.
bodybuilders were sponsored by Joe Weider.
Okay.
All right, Joe Weider's mama, and he's the NFL. So he controls it all.
Okay.
And his magazines and his Weider products and his Joe was a zillionaire.
But you got these athletes to wear your stuff that he
No.
was featuring?
I got them to use their pay in ad space and give them cash for their page for the one.
Again, every entrepreneur I've ever known who's done something successful finds a way around systems, finds their way to capitalize on systems.
So a $25,000 ad cost me $10,000, but I had to have an athlete buy it.
Wow. So, who were some of the other athletes at this time who were modeling your clothes?
We had Eddie Robinson out of Florida. We had Robbie Robinson, who's an icon in the sport. We had Lou Ferrigno. I worked with Jose Canseco. I worked with Bo Jackson. I worked with Brian Bosworth. Probably others I can't remember.
So, so how many years into the company was this point where you're like starting to really get good sales and working with all these athletes?
It happened fairly quickly. We were gaining popularity. Within a few years, we took over a building that was 13,000 square feet, and I had 50 employees sold clothes and half a dozen sold.
So, what scales this up at its height? How many stores did you have? How many employees did you have? How much annual revenue were you guys doing roughly?
We only had one store that we owned. It was right on Venice Beach, right by where everything happened. There's Muscle Beach, there's Venice Beach, there's Gold Gym, World Gym. It was the bodybuilding mecca of the world. The store was never really profitable, but it was a good showroom for us.
And at one point, you were in how many different stores though?
Well, we were in Nordstrom's, we were in hundreds of stores.
Hundreds of stores. And so,
Our big business was gyms. It was onesie twosies or a dozen of these, a dozen of those, but we
No.
ended up shipping all around the world. We had distributors in Japan, distributors in almost every country in Europe, and distributors in countries I never heard of.
24-hour Fitness ordered a $200,000 order one day. We almost fainted. 24-hour Fitness way back then.
Yeah, then we started doing some private label.
Yeah, we did private labels.
24-hour Fitness ordered $200,000 one day, and they were like, "What?"
Trying to finance it.
Well, the big thing too, it went mainstream. First it was bodybuilders. Then we decided to go do the magic show in San Diego, which is where you buy sportswear, you buy tennis wear, you buy fashion clothes. Well, they had an athletic section. And all of a sudden, Senor Frogs from Mexico, they've got all those, and I speak Spanish, right? I'm talking to them. We go back, that was $67,000, just an opening order. Jose Iber's hair salon sold stuff with their logo. They wanted us to make it. I said, one condition, we're trading product, right? I took the whole sales staff to Beverly Hills. Everybody got new hair. He was like, who the hell's that? I'm like, just shut up, sign papers, So all of a sudden it went from being in a gym to being all over and regular people wanting to wear it. And the quality sold people like Jose Iber. They're all over Beverly Hills. They want stuff that lasts forever. You can go on eBay and still find a Body Alive sweatshirt that somebody's selling for 25 years ago, and it still can go through the wash. It was 100% made in the USA, all cotton, garment dyed product.
I think we found the secret.
But I don't know anything.
So fast forward, you're like selling like crazy, you're making a ton of money, your company's going well, you feel like this is only going to go up from there. And then what happened during the 90s?
I never said a day something.
Okay, well explain that.
One year, I remember we had a really good year. My accountant told me he made $90,000 this year. He shipped about $1 million. I said, $90,000? I said, my wife could spend that in a mall.
Which is a lie.
So it wasn't, in the clothing business, it's very difficult. If you're making 10, 12, 15%.
So the margins are real slim in the clothing industry.
On wholesale margin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so fast forward to NAFTA. What happens when NAFTA goes in?
Got screwed.
How so? Explain to everybody what that means and why
Well,
it's an issue.
NAFTA was free trade in Canada and Mexico, which wasn't so bad. In fact, where we live was only 3-4 hours in Mexico, so I actually went to Mexico in resource making our clothing in Mexico to save a little bit of money here and there. But the savings only came out to be about a quarter of a garment. you know, it wasn't worth it to me to lay off 50 loyal employees to save a quarter. And in Canada, there was really no value in our relationship with either country as far as I see.
So one of the pieces of NAFTA legislation was that some of the tariffs were lifted and the limits on what could be produced in other parts of the country was lifted, is that correct?
The tariffs were reduced and then lifted, but a lot of companies that I know that did go to Mexico ended up in, you know, big trouble because Mexico doesn't have a government. It's all run by drug lords and cartel. They all ended up pulling their factories out of there. It wasn't a good trade deal.
So at the time, there was something called Apparel Road in Los Angeles, correct? Apparel Road? The big center
The
of all
garments,
the
Well,
garment,
yeah, the
garment
garment
center.
district.
The garment district.
Okay, and what happened to the garment district after NAFTA?
Well, after NAFTA was fine. When President Clinton decided to open NAFTA up to China, and that was a shit show. He put Levi's out of business. He put everybody.
So here you find yourself not being able to compete in the market. You find yourself losing money pretty quickly. What did you sell the company?
No, we were kind of blessed. We had a company called International Mail, which is the biggest men's mail order catalog in the world. And they were a $12 million company. And I was very good at what I did. And they would give me 4 pages, 5 catalogs a year to design clothes, my clothes, with my label. And they kept us going right through the hardest of times. But you know, eventually even they went belly up.
So you closed down Body Alive then? You moved back here?
I got sized out.
You downsized, okay. And then what brought you back to Utica?
My kids.
How so?
We all hear about the gangs in LA and how bad it is in big cities, and you know, we lived it. It is bad. The year we moved, 8 kids of my sons to go to high school took bullets. Those aren't odds I want to take with my children.
So you moved back to, how old were your kids at this point when you moved back to Utica?
Then he would have been he moved here, our freshman. He was going into high school.
Okay. Culture shock for them?
You know, it's kind of surprising because I
Were they lazy when they came back?
what's that?
Being California kids, were they lazy when they came back?
No, not our
Lazy.
kids, they lazy?
My kids.
Yeah.
No way.
I came back first. But it's a long story that you probably don't want to get into. I came back to. I had a 30-year match with my dad, and my wife and I came back. Just we're looking at real estate, and I said, "Man, Al, there's a house on the Parkway for $100-something thousand." She knows nothing about Utica, but you know, we were at that point flipping properties in California. Well, you can't buy a car for $140,000 in California.
Right.
Yeah, so we ended up looking at a house on the Parkway. I said, man, this is a lot of house for money. And we had just bought a house that had been moved, you know, not much bigger than a trailer home, to a property in it. And the guy wanted $515,000 for it. I offered him $500,000 and he told me no. You know, I paid $515,000 for it.
So you moved back and you started investing in real estate here, and now you're running the gym and you're investing in real estate.
We didn't really have a plan. We knew we wanted to go somewhere, and we were either thinking of her hometown, which is Kansas City. You know, Utica wasn't even brought up. We were thinking of Florida. But like I said, I had this mass here for my dad. We ended up finding this castle while we were here in Utica. It was the Pratt Mansion. A lot of people might know the name. But here's this 33-room home, stone mansion castle that was owned by the Domino Sugar here in its day. And I just fell in love with it.
Awesome. And so now you've been back for how many years?
11.
11 years. So let me ask this. Of all the things professionally you've ever done, what's the one thing you're the most proud of?
My kids. Professional.
Professionally. I worked hard making these kids.
It's got to be Body Alive. Body Alive was my baby. You know, it was my first. It was a lot of work, but you know, even today the logo still lives on.
Yeah. And personally, you can say your kids? How so?
Nice.
Yeah, be nice. Be
No,
nice.
my wife gets the credit for kids.
No.
Let me ask you this, how do you define success?
My success?
In general?
I think success is a tough one to define. I know how you get it through hard work, effort, and just relentless effort. Defining it is, I don't think money defines success. I think it's who you help in your life. Yeah, my mother was like a saint. She went to church twice on Sunday because she sang in the choir, which was in the back of the church, and she couldn't hear the mass. So she'd have to go a second time to hear the mass.